Hi, welcome to today's video where we're going to be looking at Digital Yacht's new iKreate NMEA2000 Simulator. So iKreate basically consists of two things. It consists of the hardware, which is a USB interface, similar to our iConvert devices, gateways, but this is specifically created for simulation. So you plug the NMEA2000 cable into an NMEA2000 network, and then the USB cable that it comes with into the USB port on your computer. It will work on Windows, Linux, Mac OS X, or Raspberry Pis. And the actual app that it comes with, which is the iKreate Simulator App, is just an HTML5 file, single file, 202 kilobytes in length, and literally you just save it to your computer and then open it in your browser. It needs a browser that supports the Serial Web API, which is Chrome, Chromium, MS Edge, or Opera. There is an extension to support that in Firefox, but our app at the moment doesn't support Firefox, but we do aim to support that later on. So without further ado, let's just run that. So it is literally just an HTML file, so I can just open it with my browser, and you get the page pop up where it's welcoming you to the app. And then as long as you've got your iKreate USB plugged in, just click the connect button. It shows you what USB ports it's detected on the computer, and I know that my iKreate is COM13, so I'm going to select that and then click connect, and then these status boxes will go green to show you that it's communicating with the iKreate and is ready to start simulating. So the app has two modes: replay and simulate. Simulate is the default mode, and in simulate mode you can create a table of PGNs that you want it to transmit with different values in their fields. And in the replay mode you can get the app to load one of our raw NMEA2000 log files that all of our wireless gateway devices can create, and so you can remotely log a boat's NMEA2000 network for, let's say, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, save the log file, bring it back into your office workshop, and then use this app to replay that. So that's the other mode that you can use this app in. I'll come on to that replay functionality later, but for now let's have a look at how you would simulate some PGNs. So basically you click the add new message to list, and it pops up with this little pop-up where you can get a drop down of all the supported PGNs, and I mean that's a very detailed list. That's pretty much all the latest PGNs that are available, and I'm going to pick one. Let's go for battery status. Then once you've selected the PGN that you want to simulate, you then click the edit button, and then that shows you all the fields that are in that PGN. Now you'll notice they've all been populated with these numbers. These are the maximum value. If you like, it's the, in binary terms, it's the all one value for that field, and that's NMEA's way of saying that data is not available in a particular field. So if the field has all ones in it, then that means that field doesn't have any data in it. So we put those. So by default, we set all the fields to have all ones in them, and then you go through and set the ones that you want to change. So for instance, I'm going to set a battery instance here of 5. All the values are decimal, and so you can, and we'd say here what type of field it is, or the scaling. So you can then go in and you can set the battery voltage to, if we set that to 1, 2, 3, 4, that will basically be 12.34 volts when it's transmitted, or when it's received, I should say. And then the battery current is a scaling of 0.1, so we'll set that to, let's say, 56, so that will come out as 5.6 amps. The battery voltage, battery case temperature is a little bit more convoluted because that's in kelvins. So I think something like 293 would give us around about 20 degrees C. So let's set that 29300, allowing for the scaling. Sequence ID we're not going to set. You can enter a randomness variance on for each of these. So if you want to see the value actually changing proportionally, you can set, say, like a 10% variance in there, and then the app will then start to put a random variation in the value that it transmits. Quite nice for testing gauges or demonstrating gauges with a needle. So let's save that PGN. So that's one PGN set up. Now you basically do this for each PGN you want, and you can, once you've invested the time and effort to set up that table of PGNs, you can then save those, and it will save a JSON text file with all of the PGNs. So you can start to build up a series of PGN simulations where you can, for different types of simulations. I've already set one up, so I'm going to just quickly load up a existing one. So if we go to my desktop, there we go. It's PGN Simulator JSON. Open that, and you'll see that it's got two PGNs that I've created previously, vessel heading and rudder. It knows the frequency that it needs to transmit them at, and so I can literally now just go start simulating TX messages, and you'll see the counter now at the top is starting to count up very rapidly because both those PGNs are being transmitted at 10 Hertz. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and open my display program. So this is our other web app that we use with our iConvert USB, and I've got that set up. Just connect to that. That's on COM8. And the good thing about these two apps, you can have them open in different tabs, and you can immediately see the data coming in, the simulated data that's coming in here. So there we go, vessel heading, rudder, and then you can see the data coming over here. So with those two apps, you've got everything that you need to both simulate and display data on the NMEA2000 network. So that's the at any time you can stop the simulation just by clicking there. You can also go in and you can edit the value in here, and then start the simulation again with the new value. So that's the simulation mode of the iKreate simulator. And I'll quickly show you the replay option as well. So click on replay. At the moment it's waiting for a file to be selected, so I'm going to load a log file. So go to load messages, and there we go. We've got PGN log that I took from my boat Old Nick, and I can now, so now that it's changed, it says file loaded. It tells me that there are 5,327 PGNs in that log file to transmit, and it's going to take about 4 minutes and 14 seconds to replay that file. So I'm going to start that playing, and you'll see the message is sent, quickly counts up, it says running, status running, and now if we go back to the display program, you'll see a lot more PGNs. So these are all the PGNs from the log file, and you'll also notice that the source address is different for different ones, so it actually uses the source address of the in the log file rather than the source address of the iKreate gateway. So it's a very good way. It's about the nearest you'll get to be able to simulate exactly remotely what a boat's NMEA2000 network is like. So you get your customer, or if it's your boat, you log the data using one of our devices, and then you replay the log file. Now, obviously, this is sending out a lot of PGNs, and you wouldn't want to do this on a normal NMEA2000 network. So I would recommend something like our little starter kit and create a little NMEA2000 network in your office or workshop, and then just have the iKreate connected, maybe one of our iConvert USB, so you can monitor the data like I'm doing here, and then the device that you want to test or to demonstrate with can also be connected up. So all in all, it's a new type of web app. It's the first NMEA2000 simulator web app that I'm aware of, and it is a very useful tool for anyone's toolbox that works in the marine electronics industry. So I hope you found the video interesting, and iKreate will be going on sale later this month. Thanks very much. Bye bye.